Hello, everyone. Welcome, welcome. If you are just not connecting with us, we want to say welcome and thank you. Welcome. Thank you now watching the CCC show. This is a we come to you live on this beautiful, beautiful Thursday morning. Guys, today is the 25th already. Can you believe it? Wow. It's hard, very hard to believe, but it's the 25th of the month already. So some of the kids already in the summer. My kids are. It's summer school started for them already. So today we got something very amazing. Mr. Soranes, how you doing today?
Hello everyone. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. It's good to be here. As always, it's always fun joining everybody on this beautiful Thursday, where we bring you the weekly podcast or show that we get to talk to you about credit and coffee. That's why we call it the credit and coffee morning show, or I guess podcast, we want to call it. So, it's always good to be here. So, we look forward to having a good conversation, share some really good nuggets, and definitely we look forward to having a good show today.
Awesome, awesome, awesome. You can see me okay?
Yeah, I hear you and see you.
All right. What do we have for our friends this morning?
Well, so one thing I want to say, so I don't know who had the chance to watch the show last week or 2 weeks ago. So if you guys remember, though, we had a challenge for you to share what your favorite coffee for how do you determine a good coffee? If you do have a good coffee, just make some recommendations, right? So that was the thing. So this week I was watching. Obviously, people throughout the world, they have coffee differently. So some people swear by Haitian coffee, Jamaican coffee. I mean, you name it. There are unlimited ways people drink coffee. And I remember, like, I met someone last week, and we were discussing coffee, and it was good. So I think last week I had a good coffee for the first. Well, they told me it was good coffee, so I'm going to take somebody's word for it. Said it was good coffee. So I think for the first time, I am kind of slowly but elevating my way to what is considered good coffee. So I think for the first time, I had my coffee black for the first time last week. So from what I understand, having coffee black, it means that you don't have sugar in it. I mean, I wasn't too excited about it because it had no sugar, but hey, it's a first thing for everybody, right? So first time for anything. So I would say last week I had my first good coffee. So I'm told it was good coffee, so I'm going to take the word for it. I mean, the one thing I know, it didn't have any sugar, so I'm going to go with that. And it's not normally my normally cup of tea or cup of coffee. That's how I drink it. So it was really really good experience. So, and that was Haitian coffee. Believe it or not, obviously I've had Haitian coffee before, but it just I never had it black. Put it that way. It's always had cream and sugar in it. So first time I had, I think, black Haitian coffee for the first time without sugar in it. So
Awesome.
that was a good time. That was a good time.
I don't think I've had black Haitian coffee because I don't know because I know it's a strong coffee, but that's good. Kudos to you. All right.
Thank you
So
very
with that
much.
saying, guys, if you are just not connecting, or if you've tried to connect before, and if maybe you probably didn't see us, it's for the fact that we had some technical difficulties. But
Hmm.
go ahead, grab your cup, grab your favorite cup, and we're just gonna have a nice conversation. With that saying, we're
Nice
gonna give you the
conversation.
opportunity to go grab your cup. We'll give you like 2.5 minutes. How's that? That's enough, right? Now.
That's enough.
Well, maybe you've already had it brewed, but with that, I'm just gonna give you guys a little something, something. Now, if somebody's watching this right now, we do not own the right to this music. the content or anything like that. So we just for entertainment purposes only. We're just gonna let it play, and then we'll come right back with you so we can talk about credit and coffee. We won't be long today. We're gonna, go quickly to the information so we can give you the rest of your
Your day,
evening, I mean your
your
morning
morning.
back, the rest of the day back. All right. So enjoy. We do not own the right to the music, so just go ahead and enjoy. Well, I believe that was enough for you guys. So I'm sure some of you had the chance to grab your favorite cup. All right, so today, guys, at the end of the month, already here pretty much, we wanted to bring to you some information that definitely gonna help you. And my name is Sarah Nice. If you're watching us for the first time, Coach Sarah Nice. And I have my co-host with me, Sarah Ness. Yes, they sound the same. If you're reading them, you might like Sarah, and you're like, oh, Niece, Ness. Yes, we are biological brothers and sisters.
That's
So
right.
meaning, and also we are twins. We are fraternal twins. And don't be asking us because people ask me. Well, I don't want to be harsh about this, but people ask me all the time, "Are you guys fraternal twins or identical twins?" I'm like, we are fraternal twins. We are not identical twins. It doesn't matter if we did look identical, if we look the same, if we look like close, very like close. If you have twins and one is a boy, one is a girl, automatically they're fraternal. They're not identical
Oh, see, I learned
because
something new today. I guess yeah, that makes sense, right? So identical means
yes,
that there are few subtle differences in the look. All right, so obviously that means identical, and fraternal means obviously you were born out of the same wombs, hopefully within minutes of one another, right?
let me tell you a quick little lesson for some people. It might also a learning opportunity. When you have twins, like two twins, like me and you, it's two eggs, two sperms that got each egg got fertilized by the each like individual sperm they're separately. But when you have identical, you have one sperm, one egg that got together, but somehow they just decide they want to split. They break apart.
Uh,
So that's identical. It's one twin, one everything that decides to just break apart, and you
gotcha,
have to have the one thing. You have two of it.
gotcha,
So pretty much that's how you have identical or fraternal twins.
gotcha.
Okay, so we are fraternal twins because we are different sexes. All right, cool. Let's jump. It's over. It's not about Twins Day. It's about coffee and coffee. I mean, coffee and credit. All right. So, guys, we all understand the importance of, having good credit.
Hmm.
For most people, it's they know how they can't go that day, they can't go without having a good cup of coffee. Is the same thing with credit. So the conversation will be around credit. It will be around coffee and credit. Not much coffee, but the reason we say coffee, because it's in the morning, you grab your coffee while you're sipping, we're talking about
That's
credit.
right.
Now, the importance of a good credit is it means a lot. So today we're going to talk about why it's good to have a good credit when it comes to renting an apartment, renting a house, and sometimes even renting a car. Sometimes they want to check your credit sometimes. So it's very important for that. Because right now, I know it's going towards the summer, lots of families, that's when normally they do move. They make a major moves, like they make some major moves either from one state to the next or one from one city to the next because the kids are like on break. They're out of school. So because of that, oftentimes they're like, okay, they think they can just go and get into any houses because they're like, some people, they don't even think they pull their credit for rental. Like if you're renting a house, if you're renting a, a an apartment, they do check credit. And the reason why it's many, there's folds. One is that they want to make sure you don't have a habit of not paying your rental
That's right.
where they kick you out. They call evictions. Okay. They want to make sure you don't have that. But second, they look at behavior because credit pretty much is mainly about behavior. Okay. Do you have a habit, behaviors or habits? Do you have a habit of not making your payments on time? Do you have a habit of owe people money and don't pay them? So they look at all those. So that's your credit history they take a look at. But also they look at your credit scores and history. They're two different things. Your credit scores is the number that's attached to the history or the credit file, your credit profile. Okay. So what do we consider as a good credit? I'm gonna tell you guys, what do you consider as a good credit? Because some people they think if their credit score is like any kind of number is like 4, 5, for real. Some people they think if their credit scores is in the 500s, they're good. They got a good credit. Now let me tell you something. There's a good friend of mine. He wanted to buy a car, right? So they told him, sir, you would need to have a certain number, like, he heard people say you need to have like a good credit. And he's like, okay, a good credit. He thought about it. He said a good credit must be something like an 800. So his is 350, but his wife's credit is about 570. So he thinks adding the 350 on top of the 570 will give him the credit
Oh my
scores they
gosh.
need. And then the guy's like, are you for real? No, sir. That's not how it works. You need to have your good credit, and your wife need to have her good credit so that we can determine your qualification for that particular vehicle based on your good credit. We won't add your 350 to her 570 to give you that
Well, you know
credit
how
score.
it says, two is usually better than one, except, and when it comes to credit, no, sir, it doesn't work that way. They don't add the two of you together to come up with a score. They look at the behavior of the two of you to
Mhm.
determine, whether or not the two of you are individually can come up can support whatever decision that, like, one thing I learned, before we go too far, what you said about credit, right? Credit is about behavior. So one thing I have learned when it comes to behavior, some people are very intentional, especially when it comes to credit. The behavior of certain people, sometimes they don't understand how that affects them, where it's a lack of knowledge, or what you would say they're very ignorant. I don't mean that in a bad way when I say ignorant, that they just don't know how the behavior really can be detrimental to their credit. And then you have on the other hand, you also have some people who are to some extent they basically they don't care. You know what I mean? So they basically be like, okay, I'm just gonna let it be what it be, and I don't care how it affects me. I mean, that's a short term thinking, but when you look at on the long term, it will affect you tremendously. And that's why we need, you know, when you talk about behavior, so that's what I'm saying. There are two ways we can look at it. The people who unintentionally behaving in ways that is detrimental to their future when it comes to credit, and then you have people who are for I guess you would say they don't care. I'm trying to be nice, not to say they're ignorant, but they have a short term view when it comes to credit on how to behave in certain ways that will elevate them to better financial status. At the end, it's always start with your credit. It's always how it start with how you behave and on the decision that you make when it comes to money, especially with that ultimately affects your credit.
All right. I'm gonna step away for a few seconds because I gotta grab my cup. I don't like, if you guys remember when we first started talking, one
Hmm.
of the things I don't like is I don't like cold coffee. I don't even like, well, cold coffee is for me, it would have to be to have ice and sugar and milk. That's cold
Hmm.
coffee. But I don't like lukewarm coffee, like room temperature coffee.
Hmm.
I don't. But today, we're gonna, like I said, we're gonna talk about what is considered good credit and some 8 benefits of having good credit. Okay,
Hmm.
8 benefits of having a good credit. So, what are those 8 benefits? I'm gonna start with you. You know, 8 benefits of having a good credit is, the first thing is we talk about, it's good for rental because we reaching the summer and that's when families they want to rent or if they want to buy a house, that's when they kind of plan for them to move to do those moves from one
Hmm.
state to the next or one city to the next. So 8 benefits of having a good credit. Okay, having a high credit score could give you access to more affordable loans, credit cards, and more. Now, guys, if you guys been watching the news at any given time, you would notice or you would know that the president is asking people with good credit to kind of pay when it comes to mortgages. I'm not even gonna go into that because we did have a one of our lives about
Hmm.
that. But it's good to have good credit. Some people are like, oh no, it doesn't make any big difference. It
Hmm.
doesn't make any big difference, I agree, but it makes a major difference when it comes to get qualified for anything that you're gonna be purchasing on credit. Okay. So 8 benefits of having a good credit. Number one is that it um it allows you, number one is that it allows you to get better rates on car insurance,
Hmm.
if anything, because if you don't have good credit, meaning that sometimes you may not even get qualified. Now I'm gonna give you
Exactly.
guys a tip in just a few minutes, but today I felt like I wanted to share this with you guys. I'm going to share my screen with you guys because some people are visual, so this is my bonus for you guys tonight. I mean, this morning, I don't know what I'm saying tonight, but this is my share with you guys today. Now, the bonus is this as I'm about to share my screen. If you go to a dealership and you notice they take a long time for them to qualify, notice one thing, your credit isn't good. If you go in and you're good with them within 20 minutes, and then within 20 minutes they're like, okay, sir, we got you. But if you're there and then they're like
Yeah, they're
checking
calling
and
people into
checking
the
for the
office.
wrong
They're
thing.
going back and forth. They're trying to pull a rabbit out of a hat. That's basically what they're trying to
Yes.
do.
Not only they go back and forth, then they ask you for your whole family. They ask for
Yeah,
numbers and names because oh no no, if that girl don't pay, we
yeah.
need
They're
to know who
scratching
to
their
go ask.
head. They're pulling their arms. They're having conference calls. They're calling the managers in. Yeah.
Just know the credit isn't good because that means one thing. That means they're pulling your credit so many times. When you go and let's say you go and with a 400 credit score, By the time you're done, you might, if even you if even if you know don't qualify for anything, you might end up with like your credit scores in the three something because
Hmm.
they'll pull it so many times. They'll check with all the different lenders to see who's willing to give you that loan.
Hmm.
And then after that, you go home with 75 different inquiries because you did not have a good credit. So do your homework, guys. Do your homework before you walk into a dealership,
Sure, sure.
because if your credit is not where it's supposed to be, or if your scores or you're just not up to par, then they're gonna keep checking it. Now you have another problem to deal with. You have those inquiries that's going to drop your scores. And then now it's even worse for you to get qualified for anything because lenders look at you as a credit or
A
loan
risk.
credit. I mean, hungry. Okay, so today we will share this with you guys. Take some screenshot. This is just our part of the podcast. We just wanted to bring you guys this information because it's very, very valuable.
Hmm.
And as you guys can see, so we did say, it's about credit and coffee. Okay. So look at this. Beautiful couple. They'll probably be married for 65 years, I'm thinking. Because
Yeah,
if they're like
that's
in their
fully,
70s,
yeah,
80s, huh?
yeah. Yeah, it says, yeah, 40 to, yeah, 40, 45, 30 some plus years. Yeah.
So you can see they've been married quite some time, like for some time.
Hmm.
But I'm sure they're having a good conversation over a cup of coffee, and it pertains to their credit, how they live their life. But from what I can tell me from what you see, what can you tell based on that photo?
Well, obviously, if I'm having, I feel like they're having an open conversation. Maybe the husband is very funny, and obviously they're having coffee. He's holding coffee on what his right hand, and what can I tell about that picture? So I feel like they're just chillaxing. They're kicking it. They're having a good time, and for sure they definitely been married for a long time. Again, I'm just making an assumption here about the picture, and they're talking about the benefits. So I feel like the husband is telling the wife, maybe some of the benefits why they need to work on their finances and what's the next plan, possibly where they're going on vacation, and maybe possibly talking about the kids, the grandkids. Hopefully they gossip a little bit. I mean, I'm told, I don't know anything about it, but I'm told that there's nothing as good as a husband and wife gossiping about something that's very juicy. Given that the wife is smiling and she's happy and thanking the husband like, listen, babe, did you hear about my friend Michael and his wife Karen? I'll be like, did you hear what happened to them? And she's like digging in. She just like happy about it, smiling and having a good time. And that's definitely that's what I'm saying right now. Um, so let's see what else. All right. So if you guys know, we are talking about coffee and credit. Today we're talking about the 8 benefits of having good credit. So 8 benefits of having good credit. So as you can see, we have a share for you right now, and we're gonna go over the benefits. Now, I'm definitely one of those people. When I talk, I like it when you take notes. Don't be afraid to take notes. Now, I'm not gonna lie, it is a challenge of mine. I was never someone who liked to take notes, even in high school, middle school, even in college. Taking notes was never my thing because I'm not a detailed person. I like the big picture, but nonetheless, you can still take notes. And if there's anything that you need to work on, then you can go back and review the notes, and then it'll more or less give you like a framework or directions on how where you can go and what you should do moving forward if you need to make any decisions. All right, Coach.
I agree. So those are 8 benefits. Like I said, I mentioned to you guys, it's important. And listen, this is a bonus Thursday nuggets I'm
Hmm.
gonna show you. Do us a favor, you may not have time to write it down like Sarana said, but take some screenshots because we're not gonna keep you long. Take some screenshots so that you can have them and refer this back to. So it talks about good credit, okay? You may have heard the term more times than you can count. Good credit. I'm
Mm.
sure maybe since you guys been in high school, as kids growing up, probably hear the conversation on in the household. Excuse me. But very, very, very important. Okay. So, what is a good credit? I mentioned that already. Now, this here very important. Oftentimes, people don't even know how to read them. Another
Hmm.
nugget I'm gonna give you today, or another bonus, is you have different scores. You have FICO scores. I call it FICO, but most people say FICO score, and it ranges from 300 to 850, and it gives you a different kind of numbers, but the
Breakdown.
scores they've been determined based on the institution, like wherever, like let's say a bank might say, okay, I'm just gonna look at the vintage score, whereas another one might say I'm gonna look at the FICO scores. But if your bank, if you guys have like a checking account or savings account, let's say maybe with Chase, or most banks now, even credit cards, most of them they give you access where you get to see one of your FICO scores, meaning one of the three credit bureaus, they give you access to see one of them without having to pay for it. Okay, so these are the scores. Take a good screenshot. If you guys want to learn more, please do not hesitate to DM me, call, follow, I mean, DM me, and we'll get you more information on this. And if you are here anywhere down the this side of the line, as you can see, the FICO score, it has a heavier weight. Okay, even though they both starts from 300 to
Hmm.
850, based on which one you look at. For instance, if you look at Credit Karma, because I know a lot of people familiar with Credit Karma as opposed to what the bank sees. So
Hmm.
if you go, let's say, not even Credit Karma, but let's say you have a credit monitoring app
Hmm.
or Credit Karma, because they not only they have different scale, but they also have different version. Like the same way you have 2.0, 4.0, so they have different version of those scores. Okay, so let's say you go on your Credit Karma, you might see you have a 600 credit score. Okay, where in reality it's your credit score is like maybe 540, like right here. Okay, so as you can see that if you were to take this and put it on top of this one, they won't match. This one brings it,
No,
shows that
no conference call up.
this one shows that you have a higher credit score, whereas this one is less than that. Okay, so I'm not gonna spend too much time on that. So let's go into the 8 benefits of having a good credit score. So the first benefit, I'm gonna read it for you guys because it's small. It says get better rates on car insurance. God, often a lot of people didn't know that. When it comes to your car insurance, your rate comes is based on whether or not you have a good credit score. Now, if your credit score isn't good, you might end up like, for instance, me and you, we might both get full coverage from Allstate from this for exact same car. We everything's the same. Like me and my brother, we twins. We have the same age, the same birthday, like everything. But even though he's a man, I'm a woman. But because if he doesn't have good credit and I have good credit, he might end up paying or will end up paying a lot more for his car insurance. Okay.
Significantly a lot more.
All right. So very, very, very important when it comes to that. Okay. So the next thing is save on other types of insurance. So as you guys see, insurance is very, very key here. It says companies offering other kinds of insurance, like home insurance, for example. You may end up paying more if your credit is not good. Number three, what is the third benefit of having good credit, Sir Ernest?
Well, the one of the third reasons, obviously, uh, it's qualifying for good rates when it comes to credit card or even any type of loan. So if someone's gonna lend you money, I mean, I'm gonna say if I were to If I'm the bank, even someone comes to ask me for money, you know what? I don't care who you are. I am more confident. Well, I'm more inclined to give you the money if I know I'm gonna get that money back. So that's just the way it is. So sometimes I always tell people, put yourself in the place of the bank or the credit card, the credit card company. So it's always as what confidence can you do or give out so that they know they limit the risk. So the number three reason is that you get to qualify for lower credit card interest. So I have to say, just because you can get a credit card doesn't mean you have a good deal. Okay. So because when you have a credit card, usually the lower your score, the higher the risk you present to a financial institutions. So let's say, for example, if you have a credit card and you have a low score, and the bank or the credit card company will give you a credit card, but again, the interest rate is going to be significantly high or
Mhm.
higher than someone who has good credit. And that could mean thousands of dollars. So instead of you
Mhm.
having a credit card, let's say Visa, for example, and you have a credit card from them, and potentially they would charge you anywhere from 20 to 30% interest rate, when for a lot of people, if you have good credit or you have decent credit, for a lot of people, should be able, might be able to reduce the rate by half. So the difference between, let's say, 15 and 25% APR is a lot of money. So
Mhm.
even if you have a credit card, it's important that you look into improving your credit score, because your credit score means that you still possibly qualify for higher credit limits, lower interest rates, which means you keep more money in your pocket and life is good. So that's one of the reasons why. Even if you have, like I always tell people, if you have a credit card right now, pull that credit card and learn what the interest rate is on that credit card, or what they call the APR. So if you don't
Mhm.
like the
Mhm.
APR that you have on that, it most likely means that when you obtain that credit card, you did not have a good credit score, or currently you don't have a good credit score. So even more
Mhm.
so, you have I guess, a responsibility, or you do have a vested interest to see how you can take your credit score from maybe 700 to 750, from 750 to the high 700s, because what it does help you in the short term, even help you out in the long term as well.
Yes, yes, most definitely. And the fourth reason is you get approved for higher credit limit. I think you covered that already.
Hmm.
It's just that, for instance, let's say when you first got your card, let's say you got it 2, 3 years ago, a few months ago, you didn't know about the importance of a good credit. Now you know. So your credit went, let's say, from 400 to now you're in the 800 club. You can always call your bank, the credit card company, and ask them for an increase, for them to revise the rate for you. They'll give you an increase and they'll reduce the rate for you. However, you have to ask. Sometimes some companies they'll offer you a high, like credit increase
Hmm.
because of your good credit.
Good credit,
So
yeah.
very important. Don't think once you get it, that's the end of things. We can always ask for refinance or re-evaluation for them to look at, where things are for you.
Yep.
Okay. And that also goes for a mortgage. Let's say when you got your mortgage, you barely had a 650, 660 credit card, credit score of 680. Now you have a credit score of 840 or 850. You can always try to get refinance because that
Hmm.
will make like a night and
Make
day
a difference.
difference
Yep.
for you. Okay. Number four, have more housing options because once you have good credit, anybody will qualify you for a home. But
Exactly.
if your credit score is barely making it, a lot of places will deny you. Some of them
Absolutely.
they have less restrictions. They might say yes, but at the same time, you don't want to take the risk. You do
Uh,
not want to take the
I
risk.
was
So
gonna say, I was gonna say, if you live in a part of town where you don't like where you live, you don't like the community that you live in, so it's okay for it's short term. But if you want to move out of that area, even if you don't have a lot of money, but one of the quickest way to do that is to see how you can improve your credit score, because by you having a better credit score, it allows you to possibly move into a more influential community, right? So if you maybe you living in a not so a safe area of town, and you be like, you know, what, one day I want to live in a luxury apartment, a luxury area, community, then even though you have money, one of the ways that may be the easiest for even more so than I guess increasing your income is to get your credit score, improve your credit score. By you improving your credit score, then it automatically qualifies you to rent a place of your choice, of your choice. Because what it does, when you get ready to rent, they will ask you less money down payment, as a security deposit, and they may even ask you less money to qualify for that place where you're getting ready to rent. So that's one of the reasons I always tell people, again, getting your credit score up or improving your credit score is one of the smart things you can do for yourself, both short term and also overall for the long term of your financial
Yeah,
status.
absolutely, absolutely. And the next few, I'm gonna go through each of them, very quickly. Is have more. How? No, we talk about that. Get utility services more easily, guys. Your
Hmm.
credit scores determine a lot of things about you. A lot, a lot, a lot. You guys probably heard me say that a lot or often. Your credit score determines where you get to live, what you get to drive, even the clothes you get to wear. A lot of things is being determined based on your credit score. Okay, so get utility services like light bills, like certain things. It says your credit may also be considered when you set up accounts for utilities like electricity or internet service. Because even cell phones, they like if you call AT&T or T-Mobile, they ask you for your social because they want to check to make sure, hey, should
Hmm.
I give that person, installment, an installment. So according to the FTCC, I mean, it says
Yep.
it says getting utility services has a lot to do with your credit history. The
And when
better your
people,
credit history.
let me add. So there is what they'll call a soft pull and a hard pull. Even
Mhm,
though they may not tell you, like it's a credit, it's a credit check. The credit check may
mhm,
not be a hard pull, meaning that you may not notice it on your, it may not affect you. I guess you may not take a hit on your credit report, but still it's a credit pull because they sometimes do a very extremely soft pull just to see what your score is. And based on the score that you have, they that determines the rate that you have, how much money you pay, and a whole bunch of other things. But yeah, I just wanted to add that just because I say you're
mhm.
calling AT&T, be like, okay, well, I didn't see, it didn't tell me that they pulled my credit score, so you may not think your credit of your credit affects the rate that you get, but it does. It does because if they are using your social, I promise you, somehow, somewhere are doing, or at
Mhm.
least they're seriously looking into your credit score.
They're
Seriously.
looking somehow, some at some level, they're
Hmm.
looking. All right, and the next thing is about cell phone without preparing or making a security deposit. So we did mention that. So without prepaying. So if you don't have a good credit and you try to get a cell phone, like I did kind of kindly quickly mention that, if your credit is not good, they might ask to give, like for you to give a good deposit, like a good amount. Whereas if your credit is good, they're like, oh, you're good to go. They trust you because when people don't trust you, they want to hold you hostage. Okay, so that's the problem. And the last one, number 8, it says look better to potential employers. Like
Hmm.
if you try to look for a job, and the employers, because a lot of jobs are doing that now. They look at your credit to see what kind of person you are. Because one thing I say is that how you do anything is how you do everything. Meaning, if you have a habit of paying your bills late, if you have a habit of paying your credit cards late, other bills late, it means what about you? It means you may show up to work late. You might have a habit of showing to work late, or call in often, or just don't take your job seriously. So it's very important for people to pay attention to those things because it does determine a lot of things about you. Sometimes they may not even tell you why you weren't qualified
Hmm.
for the job or for that particular thing. Or they're not gonna say, "Hey, Mrs. Jones, your credit score, the reason you're paying higher or you're paying this amount is because of your credit score."
Hmm.
Sometimes they just give it to you. If you're smart enough, you're gonna figure out, "Hey, my cousin Johnny, is getting this rate and I'm getting this high rate. Why is that?" Then you're gonna find out it's because of your credit scores. So very, very important for you to monitor your credit, figure out what's on your credit. What you know how that commercial says, what's in your wallet?
What's
Okay.
in your wallet?
So you
Yeah,
need to know what's in your credit, what's
what's in your
on it.
credit?
So it makes a lot of because you don't want to get surprises and go to a lender to find out you have bad stuff in your credit or somebody have been using your personal information as their own. You didn't even know that because so that's one thing that happened. That's a different conversation. So there are ways you can improve your credit. We'll cover that next time. Okay. And most importantly, guys, start monitoring your credit. Start monitoring. There are some free monitoring apps. There are some free monitoring apps like you have Credit Karma. I refer to it because a lot of people are familiar with it. But there are some other free ones that you can look at. Some apps they monitor just your credit score. Some other apps they monitor your credit profile, what's in your credit actually
Hmm.
in your credit. So with that saying, guys, we're not gonna keep you any longer. My tips for you guys today is that today, make today the day. Don't let June hit without you knowing. Don't, because we already seen almost we already gone through almost 5 months already. Okay, so
Oh, well,
in
yeah.
the next 7 months, do yourself a favor. Pull your credit today because you don't get um, penalized when you pull your own credit. It doesn't
Hmm.
apply. It doesn't affect you. It's not an inquiry because it's you
It's not a
looking
hit
at
on
your
your
own
credit.
stuff.
It's not a hit.
Do yourself a darn favor. Pull your credit, take a look at it, and then learn how to read it. Reading credit score can be a credit report can be intimidating if you don't have the time or if you never look at one. But take the time, go through your credit score and see what's on it. See what's on it because people steal other people's identity and then they using it and then you probably won't even know if you never check.
Yes.
Do you agree? All right, Sir Ernest, what some last words do you have for the people?
Well, the last word I want to have is being intentional for this week and for the remaining of the day, or even matter of fact, for the remaining of your life, even this year, you have to be intentional. So, one thing I always tell people, you can't change something that you don't acknowledge, you don't know, right? So many people have the tendency of putting their credit in the back burner, right? So be like, hey, I just don't want to talk about it. It's running away from something, it doesn't help anybody, right? So it's important for you to know actively where you are, what's in your credit. You may not be in a position to do something about it, but at least you need to be knowledgeable. You need to understand what's going on. You need to know your status, right? So you need to know what's on your credit, what's in your credit. So that way, then by you acknowledging, by you looking for information, then I would say you're almost halfway there because at least you are intentional, you are consciously aware. And that's one of what we want people to be today. You have to be aware of your situation, of your current, where you are right now. If you're not aware, then you basically become clueless. We don't want people to be clueless about life, about their credit and life in general. So get yourself together. So if you need help, I always tell people it's not a shame. There's nothing bad about asking for help. So if you need help or if you need someone to help you, I want you to right now reach out to Coach Serenese because she is the expert when it comes to take people from one end of the spectrum to the next end, to where you need to go. So it's okay if whatever it's okay to know to I guess it's okay to go to be where I guess it's not okay to be where you are, but what I'm saying is you need to be aware your current situation. So by you being aware, then it allows you to move in a different direction. But first you need to know, you need to be aware where you are today so that it allows you to make different choices. It allows you to move in a different direction. But the first step for today, be aware. Know, be in the know, be aware, so that it allows you to be intentional. And that's my message for today.
Awesome, awesome, awesome. And if you guys wanna, because we do like to stay connected during the week.
Hmm.
This is our handles here. You guys can find me, Coach Serenice. Just follow me. Let's stay connected. Like, subscribe, and follow, and just share our podcast. So that way, it allows us to get in front of more people by allowing us to get into more people's homes.
Hmm.
It allows us to share the information, the knowledge, the wealth, and the all everything that comes with a good credit. Now
That's
it's
right.
important because a good credit determines a lot of things about you and also to help you build wealth. So I am your coach, Coach Serenice. I'm a credit specialist advisor. I help people establish good to perfect credit when it comes to personal and business credit. And Mr. Saranes also, he's helping people with different financial needs that they may have. Follow us, and we will be more than happy to help you because what
Yeah.
we do is we serve. Our goal, my goal, is to help you reach your goal. That's it. My goal is to help you reach your goal, help you accomplish your goals because you can do that by maintaining and having a good credit. Guys, this
Hmm.
is our time for today.
That time.
Stay tuned for our next video. We'll see you guys next Thursday.
Next Thursday, bright and early, 9 o'clock Eastern,
Yes,
8 a.m.
Central.
Central.
And this is it. Love you
Good luck,
guys. You
guys.
guys
See
be
ya.
blessed, be amazing, be wonderful, and have a blessed, blessed, blessed rest of the day.